morning and welcome to Wednesday's edition of the Celtic Unrestricted View. It's myself, JP, and joining me this evening, it's becoming a wee bit of a habit, my good man here, Mr. Sean Maloney. How are you, wee man? It's good to see you've got some of the memorabilia and that, and you're drinking out of one of the best cups in the land, man. It's good to see you.
Well, it's better than what we're like Saturday, mate. So,
No. I highly doubt that.
So I'm all good, mate. Feeling a bit fresher than I was on Monday, the last time I seen you, mate. So, I all good, mate. Obviously, a lot to talk about. AGM, a lot of divided opinions about that. So, and obviously with Celtic, mate, there's always things to kind of talk about, moan about, shout about. So, I am all good, mate. How are you? And looking forward to chat to you, right, mate?
Now, that's just obviously for your perspective. I don't know really about mine. That's just obviously shout about, moan about, and all that. That's just coming for you.
That's just a half 10.
You've chased Big McCourt away to the land of wilderness, man. It's unbelievable. Fed up listening to your rosary beads rattling away in your pocket, Jimmy. I'm good. No, I'm good. As you know, mate, I was as fresh a daisy on Sunday, so I was up and out with the kids on Sunday, and I was right to it. I'm not like all you guys that need a holiday after a holiday and all that to recover. Joining us this evening, very early on, and James, surprise, evening JP and Ryan. Back to being the first commenter, that's what I like to see, and Jim, getting in there and getting your priorities in order. There's Plunge joining us also. He said, evening boys, hail.
He must be gutted Ange better than the right, by the way.
Aye, definitely, aye. That's not the first time a big Ange's beat him a floor, by the way, I'll tell you that right now.
After that was tune the fat. You beat your meat, son, aye.
Whilst listening to Michael Jackson singing "Beat It." Francis Lester joining us. Says, even your filthy animals. Guess who's been watching Holmes Line? I think he means Home Alone, right enough, with his grandson. There you go. He's corrected himself, so I was right after all. And aye, we'll blame me predictive text, Francis. That's what we'll do, mate. Even though your wee fingers didn't do the typing on your keyboard or anything like that, mate. No, but I'll let you away with that. I've seen it's Wednesday. It's not a weekend yet. I'll let you away with that. Yes, mate. Quite a bit to get our gums around tonight. I'm not just talking about your half 10 show, by the way. I'm just talking about this podcast. First up, obviously, just before we go any further, I'd be as well letting everybody know just now, guys, this will be our last podcast this week. Due to some circumstances, we won't be doing anything on Friday because we're all busy, I'm afraid, doing other things. So tonight will be the last podcast until next Monday evening at the usual time of 8:30. And then probably next week we'll be looking at doing it during the day and that again as well. There's just been a wee change of circumstances this week due to availability. We've not been able to get that done. So tonight will be our last, which is why at the very beginning of this tonight we're going to cover the Celtic versus Motherwell game. And Ryan, it's quite fitting because we have, obviously we've waited, it feels like an absolute eternity. We've waited a great period of time now. And I think it was Barry Boy it says it the other night. I think, you know, when it comes international, it just feels like weeks rather than, you know, a week and a half or 2 weeks between the games. It's as if there's a slight delay in it all. But obviously Celtic back on Saturday. I nearly said Sunday there because we played Sunday there. But just to let everybody know that we're not going to do Lally Sally yet, but it's Celtic versus Motherwell definitely this Saturday, no Aberdeen, right?
That's vodka Red Bull still in my system for Saturday, mate. So
domestics, no.
well, hopefully it's a Saturday's result, mate. I might read that again. Hopefully no. But no, it's definitely Motherwell Saturday, mate. Aye.
No, definitely. And just like that, mate, obviously the players are all coming back, dribs and drabs now off international duty. We're hoping that we've got so far we've not heard any reports, but I know we've got Hatati and Maeda and guys out injured or bad and stuff, but I'm really hoping that we're certainly not adding to the injury list. I think it was a wee scare the other night of Palmer. But he played this morning at 2 o'clock in the morning against Mexico. They lost 3-0. He was taken off right enough. Not because of injury, just because obviously he's got an important season that lies ahead with Celtic as well. And I think the Honduras manager was kind of had that in mind as well. So, in saying that, mate, I think it's going to be good to have him back Saturday, mate.
I look forward to it, mate, as well. Like you say, it seems an absolute eternity when Celtic on the plane. International breaks, I'm like you, I'm a Scotland fan. I like watching Scotland, but it's not the same. You still get happy with Scotland score and they win and stuff, but it's not the same as Celtic. You don't really follow the game as much as being at Celtic. So I look forward to it, mate. Motherwell, they've been a bit in and out this season, so they'll obviously want to come to Celtic Park, try and get the 3 points, obviously, and try and kind of start their season again after a national break. So it's just on us to continue a good form, mate, and kind of keep ahead of the team across the water. So that's the main objective until we play them in the Fete. If that's where we need to be now, it's just win every game till then, and we all know that game takes care of itself. So again, some of the players have played international duty. Some have played some minutes and some have played a lot of minutes. So, but guys like McGregor, O'Reilly, Palmer, these guys have been taken off as well in the games have been playing. So they've not played every 90 minutes. So they're coming kind of fresh, if that makes sense. So again, they'll be jumping at the bit to play. I watched Brendan's presser and he says Palmer and Johnson will arrive to Friday morning. So he says it's just about assessing them, but obviously they'll be contention as long as they're assessing, they're fully fit, they'll play. So I think now this is where you need to start now. I want to say resting players now. I think you just need to try and go to the end of the season now, full pelt, play your strongest squad if you can, barring injuries. Hopefully Tati's back before we play them across the water. Abada as well. It gives you more options. Maeda, we don't know how he is. Hopefully he's back for that as well. If we can get, because Tripino these days technology in the rehab now, some of these players are back within weeks. It should be months. So looking forward to the game Saturday. Kick is off, hopefully 3 points. But Motherwell again, they can be stuffy. But again, mate, it's one of the ones. I know you don't want to disrespect any opposition, but we should be capable enough to go start the end of the year. Quite possibly with 3 points.
Yeah, I think the important part is, mate, is just as you said a minute ago there, to keep a clean bill of health, because I don't think we want to, especially in the forward areas, I don't think we want any more, dropouts or anyone getting injured or any harm coming to any of them at all. And saying that, I think the break came too quick for some boys as well, like say Yang and Big O, get a brace before he finished up there, and obviously Yang getting a goal and playing as well as he did. And then you look at the boys who aren't even there, Lager Bielka, Narovsky, they'll have been in working hard over the break. Lager Bielka never get picked for that Sweden squad there, so again, he'd have probably been in the gym and doing his stuff.
Him and Ben and who else? Somebody else. We played in that testimonial, didn't they, for Kamikare?
Yeah, I think, was it no Kobayashi?
That was it, Kobayashi, Ben and Lager Bielka, wasn't
it? Yeah. So I think we looking at that, I think we'll be fine. I really do. I think we'll be okay. I think the team are coming. You know, we're in a good place domestically just now. The team's probably just all, especially the newer guys, to Brendan, getting used to him. He's getting used to them. They're all maybe getting used to one another. You know, the way we're playing now. And I think now it's about building momentum again as we go. I think it's a great game to start us off with. It's a home tie. So I think that's a good one as well. I think I was reading like 5 out of the next 7 games we've got are at Parkhead as well, which is very good. Obviously we've took care of business now away from home, so now comes the time for all of our home games to come. So yeah, no, I'm looking forward to obviously the team coming back and you know looking for a positive result on Saturday, mate. And saying that, I'm looking forward to it, but I can't attend it. I've got a Christmas, the start of my Christmas days out.
Christmas benders.
Christmas benders, aye. There'll be a few of them there, I know, by the way, I'll tell you. A few of them there, I know. Ones with Christmas aerosol smell getting sprayed on their t-shirts and jumpers before they come in the place. Telling you. Smell like a barbecue at an Amy Winehouse party. But as I said, it's, you know, that's the start of my days out. So unfortunately, I'm not going to be in attendance to the game on Saturday. I will be keeping an eye on it though. Going to actually phone your dad because he said he's got a mate that something about a dodgy box or something like that. See if I can get a wee sat. A couple of podcasts ago, he put one in the comments for us. He says, definitely, I'm going to get a wee link sent to me. I'll speak to John, see if John can get his.
I think he was talking about a port link. I've never heard of IPT in my life.
Hopefully on Saturday I'll be king of Lecky.
So if you see a ball out the town, it's king of Lecky. JP's watching now.
Whole of town heeds out, the whole of Glasgow's out, the whole of town heeds out, the whole of Cathedral Streets out. You
just your phone.
Just IP walking home, just see my big light coming off my phone. Like a big beam transmitted through for a Champions League final. Unbelievable. But no, mate, as I said, it's a very good game on Saturday to get us back and try and get that momentum building.
Especially a home game, mate. That's what you want. Your home crowd back, and again, you're always very confident, mate, in the league at Celtic Park. Well, in general, obviously, when you go to the European games, you've got a harder task against the better quality teams. But just going to be again take away the bit over the corner, Green Brigade. Obviously, at the moment they're not there, so take away that, it'll be a full crowd. So again, you look to go and impose yourself as a home team, impose yourself as a quality team, fresh players as well for international break. So I think as well, again, you might see 1 or 2 changes, maybe guys getting a bit of game time, who knows. But obviously, I'd like to expect that you'll go and win the game, mate. As Francis says in the comments, Motherwell, they've not been in a great shape since the last time we played them. They've been in and out. They've been getting draws and wins and kind of in and out. So they've not really been consistent as they were when Kettlewell first came in. I think they were unbeaten in 11 or 12 games or something. They were doing very well. It was a good run they were under. So since then, they've been a bit in and out. So again, mate, you'd be hoping with quality team, mate, you'd be expecting the best team to go win the game. And I don't. As much as I respect Motherwell as a team, I think you'll have too much, mate. And obviously to try and extend the lead as well.
Yeah, mate, definitely. No, Francis, that's my tankard. That's what the boys got me for my service on the podcast. That's my tankard. I was in Ryan's house the other week here, and Ryan's like, don't drink that out of there. Look at your tankard.
Oh, my tankard, you bastard. Excuse my French.
No, you hen. Yes, Joseph, as always, mate. As always. There's always somebody's bum caressing my seat at Celtic Park. I'll just not be mine. I'm a wee bit gutted, but on the flip side of that, I'm looking forward to a good day. Celtic Glasgow on the YouTube says they can be sturdy though, Motherwell. I've been to a few edgy 1-0 versus them at home. Yeah, no, you're probably spot on there. They can be. I think one that springs to mind is Ryan's best mate there when he made his debut at 16. James Forrest, he came on and scored the winner. I think it was a young ex-Motherwell manager, Stevie Hamill, or younger. He wasn't as young as James Forrest, right enough, but younger. Get caught between the man and the ball, and good finish with Jamesy that day, and aye, nice way to announce yourself as a youngster into the squad. Unfortunately, nowadays I don't think we've got much in terms of to shout home about in terms of quality from the youths now to kind of give us that sort of look at this boy, or but that's a different matter. Yeah, Motherwell's quite. I think we nearly struggled against them at Fir Park, and Big Alan's favourite guy, Louis Palmer, showed his true quality that day, and curled one in for just outside the mega bar. The amount of curl. I know you're laughing, Ryan, but the amount of curl we put on that, like, people are going like that. No, that was a cross. Aye, so
I thought it meant it.
And then you go and watch the goals that he used to score for Aris and teams that he was with prior to signing for Celtic. That's the kind of goals he used to score on a regular basis.
Yep.
So he's got that in his locker and in abundance. So, and then the last minute goal with Matt O'Reilly. But yeah, no, they're always tough games. Listen, guys, that's the nature of Celtic, and playing against Celtic, every team in that league, that's their cup final. Maybe barring the team across the water, because a lot of these teams have got a lot to prove against a team like Celtic, especially. Just say for talking sake, Celtic played the way they played against Atletico at Celtic Park, and I know they drew 2 each that night, but just say, let's say for talking sake, they beat Lazio next week, okay, and they show a top performance. The next team we play in the league, I'll be looking at that and going, right, I want a bit of them. I want to bring them. Martin, to be fair with you, mate, he's already a player. He's already shown. He's already announced himself to not just the Celtic fans, but to that squad, and he's a big game player, and you can see that in him as well. He's got that quality. Look at his strike against Lazio. I know it was chopped off, and then his strike against Atletico. So it's they hit suddenly just a one-off. Me man's got that in his locker in abundance. Don't tell that to Big Alan right enough, because you'll not be happy with you. But Ryan, I think overall, mate, Celtic Park, if we're on my game, mate, I don't see Motherwell posing any sort of problems for us at all. Because like I've said before, mate, we've got the makeup in our squad, and you've seen that against Aberdeen's low block now as well. The way we can set up, and we've just got that much firepower now, mate, that we'll find a way to play through it.
Aye, especially the way now, the way it's a different way, a style of play towards what Ange did. It's a bit different, and we did say that as soon as he came in. Don't expect the Ange play. Don't expect the full throttle, like no nonsense, just attacking. It was a few people saying, "Oh, it'll be the same," and different managers play different things, and you've got to have RODGERS. Again, you might see that, and obviously we'll touch on a lot about AGM, but he'll want to sign guys in the next 2 or 3 windows to affect his style of play, because it's no fully his squad at the moment. There's still guys there that were here before he came, so there might be some players that he's just playing the new that he doesn't want to play there now, but he's got to because that's all he's got. So we'll see more about that in January in the summer. But again, mate, if Celtic turn up, mate, it doesn't matter who they play in the league at Celtic Park to win, or just in general. If Celtic turn up to a game, even like against them across the water, if it's Celtic Park or Ibrox, Celtic win the game because they've got the best team. That's just as it stands at the moment, and nobody out there can say I'm wrong because the trophy haul, the points total, everything tells you that that's the truth. So if Celtic turn up, mate, Motherwell will really need to be at an absolute pomp. And even then, to try and get anything out of us, mate, it's going to take us to have a 60 to 50% performance. So again, hopefully Motherwell don't even turn up and we can just play a game and that's us. And but again, mate, you'll probably see that they'll try and counter-attack you. They'll just try and put 10 men behind the ball, behind the goalie, and just try and park the bus and then get a counter-attack, which most teams try and do. Even them across the water try and do that at Celtic Park. So I'm looking forward to
when they drew me last season, they'd done some amount of time wasting as well, didn't they? Like that, Liam Kelly, the goalkeeper, and
but again, obviously, they've not got Big Van Veen, who again he done very well for them, but they've normally had like Lou Moult in the past, even with Tony Watt up front. They've always had a decent striker. So, but Van Veen obviously last year done very well. But again, I'm looking forward to the game. I'd imagine there'll be maybe one or two wee changes, maybe depending on the fatigue of the players and Arsenal break. But again, you would be expecting, again, no disrespect Motherwell, but if Celtic turn up, mate, like you said, you should expect to win the game.
Yeah, no, 100%. Plunge, Big Alan's a wee bit under the weather, so we've gave him some well-deserved time off at the moment to get himself together, concentrate on himself. He's not too serious or anything. He's absolutely fine, but we've given him a wee bit of needed time off just to get himself together so that he's feeling 100% sharp the next time he's back on. And he's put a lot into the podcast over the last period of time, so he's been one of the ones that's not really had much time off. Usually me and Maloney here, it's been skiving and doing this and doing that, and you never miss your half-10 show, but wee man, didn't you? You're always,
can't miss that.
Can't miss a half-10 show. It's the only guy I know that's got 12 alarms set for a half-10 show at night, honest to God. It's unbelievable, by the way. And it's not that, he's asking the boys, that's what he wants Santa to bring him as well, so.
If anybody wants to give me a Christmas, it's a brand new ring light and all that, happy days.
Not just that as well, just a skeleton key so you can try and get out of the house he's been in, stuck in for the last 3 months.
Here, still in the same shirt that I've worn the last 5 weeks I'm in here. But definitely, mate. I think if we turn up, mate, then you'd imagine it should be enough to win the game.
Give us a wee team prediction from you, Ryan. Who are we thinking?
I think the goalie picks itself at the moment. Again, it will depend on Alistair Johnson, if he's jet lagged.
You got me Scott Bain as well, then, aye? That's the same as me.
No, I'm still with Barkas. So he's left, isn't he? He's left, isn't he? So no, obviously it'll be Hart on goal. I'd imagine Johnson will play, depending on obviously how he is coming back for playing with Canada. But again, if Vickers and Scales, you'd imagine it'd be they two. I know Scales didn't start the night for Ireland.
Yeah.
So he'll be fresh. Again, he might have liked to see me Lagerbielke in the testimonial. He might be seeing me like Minorowski. So I'd imagine Scales will play, mate, because he's not done anything wrong not to play. Wouldn't surprise me if Burnley gets a game, because he did come on the last game against, was it St Mirren Aberdeen? But at game time, is that leading towards maybe getting a start? But I'm going to just go with Taylor, because I think I think you'll want to play strongest team, 3 points on the board. The midfield, I'm going to go with Turnbull. Just some of the comments for RODGERS about maybe home having to do more. Maybe he might have 1 or 2 weeks off and maybe do more on the training field. I don't know, but I'm going to go with O'Reilly, McGregor, and Turnbull in front three. I think the front three will pick itself. Kyogo, Yang, and Palmer.
Yeah, I'm probably going to go a wee bit different. I was thinking along the lines of Magnus Hedman, Paul Telfer, Mo Kamara, just to change things up a wee bit, no, and try and steer us down a bit.
Is wee Chesney came back as the All-Star manager and all?
No, he's a water boy. He gives them all. He's a water boy. He's getting them all H2O at half time.
The big Stratton's the guy that shouts, "Water polo," and you're holding it, all inclusive. Water polo? No, mate, you're all right.
No, it's Joe Hart, obviously. I think he might go with Ralston. I think obviously Ralston's going to be the fresher of the two of them. Just for that alone. I think he'll go with Ralston. I know Ralston played some minutes for Scotland, but he'll be the more fresher from them.
Yeah.
I think it'll be Cameron Carter-Vickers. I know he played. USA lost. I think it was it 3-2 or 2-1. I'm sure he played one other defeat. I'm sure it was 3-2. I checked yesterday, and I think it was 3-2 they lost. And he played in the game. He started the game. It was the boy. Is it Ream? The boy Ream that played beside him.
Tim Ream.
Tim Ream, yeah, it was him that played sort of left centre back that day. So it was. He's played again. I think it'll be Cameron Carter-Vickers. I think it'll be Liam Scales. I think it'll be Greg Taylor, and I think the midfield will be Matt O'Reilly, Carl McGregor, and I'm going to go Thiago Holm. I think Holm will play again. I think you need to give him a bit of time along with a run of games as well to see what he's got. I think it'll be Yang. I think it'll be Jota's replacement, Palmer, and I think it'll be Wiki Ogo. And I really think that, I think Celtic will win comfortably. I'm going to say they'll win with 3 or more goals. There we go. That's what I'm thinking. I think. I know you said Turnbull. That's a good shout actually because he has a goal threat. He can score goals. But I just think the boy Holm. Again, I know Rodgers has spoke highly about him before, and he did say that he needs to do more. But I think he's got to go through this wee purple patch, and he'll show us what he can do, Ryan. I think he's one of those players that I predicted a while ago that Palmer was in that. So was Yang. So was Big O. I wouldn't even be disappointed if he started Big O either, because I think the big boy he certainly knows where the goal is. And I've spoke to you highly about him at the weekend, mate. We were out and we had a drunken chat about it, but I also said to you, it's no easy, mate, when you're coming in out of the cold. And you have to remain with that. You have to remain with that calmness to finish the goals that he's taking. Because other strikers that aren't playing with confidence, Ryan, might have want to pass that ball on or take an extra touch when you're not supposed to. So for the big fella to show that extra finesse and calmness, I thought it was that's what's impressed me most there. So I wouldn't even be disappointed if Big O started, to be honest with you, because I just think he needs the games as well. So I think the more or less the team there would pick itself really. I don't think it matters what Motherwell team. I'd be impressed to see what the young lad Lennon Miller can bring, especially in that sort of environment. I think it's his first time maybe playing at Celtic Park. It will be if he starts.
Potentially.
So it'd be good to see because, again, lots of noise coming for the boy. Is he good enough to play in the Euro squad with Scotland? Is he good enough to make a grade higher? And I think we've spoke about him as well, out with all the young Scottish lads in now, Ryan. He's probably the one out with, Celtic or Rangers that you're probably going to go to say, right, I've heard a lot about you. The next David Turnbull, if you want a better way of explaining it. So let's see what you can do. And I think to expose him to that environment at the weekend, mate, it'll be big for him. But it'll also be a massive challenge for him as well, especially with that quality of midfield he's going to be playing against.
Aye, he's been talked up to be quite a good young talent. Again, I'm not really one for picking up players for other teams, especially in Scotland. But again, if he is somebody that Celtic would look at, then Saturday would be a wee. I don't want to say an audition, but it'd be maybe if he plays well, it could catch Celtic's eye. So again, this is one reason why these teams, when they come to Celtic Park, some individuals might want to play well as well. If they have any aspirations to go further, because at Celtic Park, again, it's just because of how big Celtic are. There's more eyes on Celtic, whoever it is playing at Celtic Park, than I would be at Celtic versus maybe Motherwell at Fir Park. There'd be more eyes in the game. So, again, the young man's getting very high plaudits from Motherwell fans and the media. So, again, hopefully he's not getting maybe too much at the moment and it doesn't affect him. Hopefully he can just continue because he's obviously, I think he's only 16, 17 at that age. So, to play, it doesn't matter if you play with St Mirren, Motherwell, Celtic, even if it's League 1 or League 2, if you're that age and you can down to play first team football, especially in Scotland, JP, I think you must be very, very good.
Yeah.
Even Hearts have done it in the past, have brought in guys at 16, 17 right away through your system.
Yep. There's a few big shouts about him already. I know his dad's obviously Lee Miller and stuff, but there's been a
There's
few.
Obviously, again, people might go, why do we know it? But Celtic's a bigger scale than Hearts and Motherwell, St Mirren. They need to try and find youths because they can't buy the players that Celtic and maybe no they must go to what they used to spend money, but we can still spend money. We can go and spend £3-4 million on a guy at 17, 18. They can't. So they've got to try and nurture talent as much as we should be. Just at the moment, it's no walking away at the moment in terms of the youth products. Because for me, I did put it on Twitter the other day, for me it's non-existent now. I just don't see any youth guy come through that's going to play week in, week out, or even make the bench and come on. It's not really any. Maybe next year, who knows? Maybe after next season, who knows? But I totally echo what you said, mate. Hope for the wee man does he play well, because again he's a good player for them. But hopefully for his own development that he can take it his stride and again keep his plaudits very high.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what he can bring, Ryan, because I've heard he's very good with both feet. Heard his positioning's very good at such a very young age. Heard he plays with that sort of older head on him, if that makes sense. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can bring. If he plays at Celtic Park at the weekend, then I hope he can make a good account of himself and do very well moving forward, because it'd be good to see talented young players coming into the Scotland team and doing very well. Right, now, obviously, we're going to move on to a part of tonight that we obviously promised the viewers on Monday. But as we're going to do it, we are going to chat about today's AGM also, and parts of the aftermath and things that were said and things into consideration. So if any of you guys just now that's tuning in with us and that are watching, and you get any questions now, your questions have got to be within reason. Nothing silly. I know sometimes we can be in a silly mood, but we're allowed to be in a silly mood. But the questions you ask need to be based on sort of logic and within reason. Because if it's anything silly, or if there's any derogatory sayings or anything in the actual questions that you're going to ask, we're just not going to put them up, guys. Okay, so as we go, feel free to ask questions, and we'll do our best to try and get through them for you as well. Ryan, obviously today was the 2023 AGM, and I think we've got a nice wee there we go, nice wee photo of them all there. I'll let you kick us off, mate, and give me your surrounding thoughts on. I know we weren't present at the AGM, but we managed to see good bits of the transcripts, etc. What's your overall feeling on it, mate?
These AGMs were meant to give the fans a kind of a kind of outlook on certain things, and fans to know a bit more about the club, what's going on, and sometimes JP, I think it's just the same old answers to a lot of questions. There was bits and bobs about it that were decent answers about the recruitment and investing and stuff, but some of the questions, mate, it's kind of same old short answers. I don't really get into detail. It's just right, just move on. I don't think the fans. It's meant to be an AGM for the fans to find out of shareholders to ask. Yeah. I think sometimes when people will ask, again, we don't know because we've not been in that situation at the AGM. We don't know if they get briefed on their questions. We don't know, right? But a lot of people seem to be on social media putting their hate towards the board, or their hate towards referees, or their hate towards certain things in the club or whatever.
I don't think we need an AGM for that, though, do we?
No, but there's certain things about maybe that they talk about social media that they could be asked to the board, but then it just seems to be some of the questions don't get asked. As in, they don't get asked, or they're told not to ask them. I don't know. But again, Dermot Desmond, one of the major shareholders, wasn't an appearance again, which for me is disappointing. I know he's a busy man, but for me, for the guy, it's your major shareholder, to not attend a meeting for a few years, I think it's a poor show again. I know he does a lot of good things for the club in terms of, obviously, years ago when he invested and helped Martin O'Neill. I know all that. He's a massive part of the club, but you've got to attend this is if you want the fans to at least think you're present or you're still here, you're still doing, you need to show your face at least to the fans. Maybe there's reasons why, family things, I don't know, but until we know that, we can't speculate on
he did have representation there, didn't he?
Obviously Ross Desmond was there, his son again, but I know I did put something in here to show he did say that him and his dad will never share they'll never sell their shares. He says it's a family thing. We're massive Celtic fans, basically until
that's it there, isn't it?
He basically says that grew up Celtic fans will always stay here. Our shares, because I think somebody asked if will it ever go to, like, I think he says somebody like a Saudi company or something. He says as long as we're here alive, my shares and my dad's shares will never be sold to anybody. So I think in terms of maybe it's a bit of comfort knowing that it's always going to be in good hands in terms of that side, that it's always going to be managed well, and maybe no takeover again. But maybe in the recruitment side and investment side, maybe somebody wants that. But again, mate, obviously Peter Lawwell was there as well. I seen a thing as well. A lot of fans are questioning what he's doing at the club, and he put it, I don't think it was him, I think it's Michael Nicholson actually. He says Peter deals with the board, and we, the chief executives, etc., we deal with the one-to-one, day-to-day business.
Yeah.
So he says Peter manages us as a board, and we do the other things that deal with the club. So that kind of puts that, again, people can believe that what they want, they can believe that, but so in terms of that, then again, I know Dermot Desmond does a lot of good things, JP, and he's done a lot of good for the club, and still is doing good for the club, I see probably. But it just would be nice to see him. It just would be nice to see him at the AGM. But again, I think just for me, JP, we're going to bits and bobs it, but I just think some of it was the same old. Didn't really give the fans much answers. They gave bits and bobs what you can maybe be intrigued about, going on to recruitment, investing, but talk about investment. It's already having money and saying stuff like that, but Peter, again, people can question Peter Lawwell, JP, but he's been a successful man. You've looked at his Trophy Hall. I get that, and I get the question. I get the question about the Neil Lennon thing. I get that, but I think Lawwell says, like, wake up. Basically, like, you've seen what we've done since then and what I've done before then. So overall, mate, I just think I'll go into bits and bobs about merit, but I just think overall, mate, I was just bits and bobs, the same old, mate. Be bits I can take for it, that be a bit positive, but I think it was kind of the same old questions, the same old answers, mate.
Right, okay. Obviously, like I said at the beginning of that, we weren't attendees at the AGM at all. The Celtic Glasgow champions has asked, has the board just gave Rangers their team talk for the Derby game in December with all these quips about the penalties. To be fair with you, obviously not been there, so I don't know. I'm gathering from what I've read that the quip was just a shot at humour, basically. Now, in terms of doing a team talk and to be fair, guys, this is the only time I'm going to mention the mob that we share a city with, okay, tonight, because that's not what we're chatting about at all. I've been honest with you, Celtic Glasgow champions, you could bring Jose Mourinho in to give them a team talk, and I don't think it's going to make a difference when you've got John Lundstram in your squad, mate. The guy when you get in your team at Kirby, and that's the best I can take for that what you will. That is the best way I could potentially answer that for you. I don't think it matters what you say to them, because this is a team that still think they're Rangers. Do you know what I mean? That they don't think 2012 happened. So you can't be serious. These are the supporters not so long ago attended games with loaf packets on their heads, singing about magic hats. So to be dismissive of them, in my opinion, would just be the norm. Because if you look at the last 11 years out of 12, that backs up why I would be so dismissive of them. If you think a bit of humour for the chief exec for Celtic's going to do a team talk for them, then in my opinion, that's crazy, Ryan. That would be crazy, because we also have to do our own team talk as well, and we're also our own preparation. It's about squad quality and what Celtic have got in their locker to what they've got in their locker. And I'll tell you now, we are far superior to anything that they have. And that's just that's just the be all and end all of it. So I don't think potentially a shot at humour is going to do anything that's going to be upsetting Celtic's rhythm, or the way Celtic go about their business. So I hope I've done my best there to answer that one for you. In terms of the AGM itself, Ryan, I think some of it, reading on a transcript, can look worse, Ryan, than actually being there in person and actually hearing what's being said. Now, I know everybody's got opinions, mate, and that's the beauty of it. Everybody's got a different point of view. Everybody's got a different, way of receiving information and dealing with that information. I think there's key elements in what we saw today, mate. I think people are just bogged down with certain individuals, and why is he there and why is he no there. And I get your thoughts on Dermot Desmond, because it's very strange as to why he's not been in attendance during it. Now, there is no necessity for him to be every single one, right? I get what you're saying though, in terms of he's not been there for a long, long time, and that's fine. I would be more concerned if he didn't have any representation there at all.
Mm-hmm.
And because do I think Dermot Desmond's just a guy that, just goes on a golf course and lives a life of luxury and buries his head and doesn't deal with anything? No, I don't. Because you look at what we've saw in terms of, him speaking to Ange and he taking Brendan down to his house in London, and he is an active man. He is also an older gentleman as well. So he's not going to be as inactive as like his son Ross. I get the frustrations though, because people, the way it looks to the outside is that he's kind of burying his head and he's not really being active. But I'm a great believer in seeing is believing, mate. And he's one of the main reasons as to why our club's been run the way it is, you know, and why we're not being mismanaged. So I do think not every decision they make as a collective, not every decision they make as a collective is the right decision. I understand that. We have paid the price of that before. But I do think over the piece, they get a lot more right than what they do wrong. That's just my take on that, right? Everybody's got their own sort of the way they do it. The one thing that stood out for me was when Brendan Rodgers spoke and he addressed the scenario in terms of his recruitment. And he said that there is significant funds for improvement. And moving forward, what it's going to be is we're going to be looking for more quality over quantity. Ryan, I don't know about you, mate, but I think that's music to a lot of the Celtic fans' ears, mate. And I know people are probably going to be saying, you know, they've said this before, they've done it. I potentially do not think now the you know, Michael Nicholson and these guys will tell Brendan one thing and do another, because their finances and accounts would argue that they've got the capability to go and do, you know, buying quality and bringing in, you know, instead of bringing in excessive numbers, but bringing in quality whilst trimming the squad. So I don't know about you, mate, but that kind of got me slightly excited. And I thought of the prospect of the January Windies only a number of weeks away, mate.
Aye, I don't think I'd put it in, mate. A wee bit. Aye, that's where the board again. Listen, I'll praise the board when they need praise, and I'll criticise them when they need criticised. Yes, they've been very successful in the past. You just look at the trophy haul. Yes, the European side has to progress. I don't want us just to have this attitude. Sometimes it seems that the board just want us to. Again, this is just from my eyes. It might not be, but the way it seems in terms of some of the transfers are going, and the way we've kind of progressing, it's like they just want to be one up on Rangers, name across the water. Sorry, that's the way it sometimes seems. They just want to win the league, get in the Champions League, do what we can, and we'll go for there. I think now is where they've got to step it up, and they've got to put. Sorry, having all this money and having all this £40 million profit and having 72 million in the bank and go and spend it. I'm not saying go and spend £50 million or £40 million. Whatever money you've got, if you've got 20 million to spend, then you need to spend it wisely. You can't just go and buy maybe 7 players and 5 up projects. That's not going to improve Celtic. If you're going to improve Celtic with £20 million, for me, you would at least go and buy 3 belters at maybe 5 to 6 million, or maybe just say 5 million each, and then maybe the other 5 million, maybe get 2 or 3 gems, whatever, to improve the squad. And then with the money that you're obviously getting for players who are maybe going to take away from the team out on loan or sell or free agents, or they're getting released, then you add that maybe to kitty or you add that to whatever else.
Yeah.
This is where I think January and the summer, because in my opinion, you'll win the league. And obviously, I think it was Chris Mackay. I can't remember it was with Michael Nicholson in the AGM, the video on YouTube. They were saying that in January and the summer, there's money there to spend, and they're going to find out soon how, in the next month or two, how much money it's going to be shelled out for the European next. If you win the league and you get into group stages. So this is where you'll see the ambition in the club. And for me, I've said to you weeks ago, if we don't go and spend decent money in January to make sure that the squad stays fit, healthy, and full of quality, and you make sure you go and win the league, and then we don't spend decent amount of money to, not just in players, but you need to spend it on quality, no quantity. You can go and buy 10 players, but only 2 can be good. There's no point in wasting money. Celtic can't afford to, as much as our football cast, I get we're going to turn out well, right? Listen, it didn't turn out well. One, because of the situation we're in, the full world was in, and obviously it just didn't work out as players. But Celtic can't go and spend 15 to 10 million pounds on 3 to 4 players or whatever and no work out. So they need to make sure the recruitment's spot on, and they need to spend it. I said to you, actually, I think Monday, I said it. I think Martin said it there. We spoke about it. See if we spend £20 million and maybe 3 to 4 absolute top quality players, right? See if 2 of them turn out absolutely phenomenal, you're going to double your money. You'll double it. So this is where you need to spend to make sure you're buying quality. You need to do your due diligence properly, and the board need to put their money where their mouth is. None of this, we're going to give the manager money, we're going to do this. Do it. None of this, it's not going to waffle anymore. Buying projects. It's already spending money. We can all spend money. I can spend money, but I might spend money in absolute stuff that's not going to affect my life. It's cool just for me maybe buying luxury stuff. This is where the board need to go and spend money that's going to improve the club, not just to build the squad and just, we need some squad players. You need squad players, but you need quality players. And this is where I think they need to put the money where their mouth is, and actually go and give the manager the money that he wants. The manager says that he wants quality, he knows what he wants in January, and he knows about the Asia Cup. So if we're lacking in squad depth by the end of January, then you've got to look at the manager and the board, because they're committed saying that they know this is coming. So if we don't go out and spend and help the squad, but again, I don't think all the players will go in the Asia Cup. Maeda might not go, depends injury, and Hatate might not go because he's injury. So I think maybe they two could potentially stay. I can't see them all going. They could, but personally, from my point of view, I can't see it. But I just think for me, mate, this is where now it's all right saying we've got all this money and we've got this. Go out and spend it. And I'm not saying go and spend £10 million a player, but at least go and spend, like your Kyogo, 4 or 5 or Vickers. You've seen what you're going to get with quality. Go and help us to get to the next stage. It's all right buying £1 million player to help you in Scotland. Scotland takes care of itself. We always know, as long as we've got 10,000 more seats in them, we're winning the league, we're always going to be ahead of them. But you need to, the board needs to show ambition, because right now, in my opinion, they're lacking ambition in terms of European football.
Yeah.
The signings were sorry progressing in Scotland, but we're always going to be ahead of them across the bar. If you win the league, you're always going to get more money than them. It's always going to be the case. You've got more ticket sales, you've got more fans that do the training gear. And no, I agree with you. I don't know if you've just joined Facts a lot, but we have said in here the day kind of lack ambition in terms of Europe, and I do feel, JP, that between now, Rodgers has said the next 2 windies is going to be when he's going to trim the squad and improve it. So I think by the end of, I think the windy ends in August, start September. So you probably get maybe 10 months, mate, to see how much the board and the manager are going to progress. And all I'm going to say is back the manager and you'll get success, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, I think Ali makes a very good point there, to an extent though, because you know the end of that there, because the current squad ain't got it. Well, the squad have showed they can compete in games. You know, it's fine margins. I get over the piece, the results and stats don't show that we've got it in Europe, but over we drew 2 each way as Atletico Madrid team. A game that we probably could have won had we a bit of game management, and we oversaw a few decisions that we made in the game, and we done it differently. Same with Lazio. Again, Palmer's goal, it was disallowed. Say what you like, but again, that for me changes that game as well. So there is definitely signs that even this current squad, I've got players there that they can do it in these games. What's lacking is a consistency. Now, you're always going to have consistency problems when you arm a team to go to war with you're sending a team to war with a water pistol. So you're always going to have those problems overall. But if anyone on here right now thinks that Celtic are, and obviously yourself, Ryan, I know your thoughts on this, but if anybody thinks that because Celtic have got like £70 million in the bank, or that they're all of a sudden going to start going and spending 10, 11, £12 million on like one player, And, you know, then honestly, put your PlayStation controller down and like seriously come out for up in and around the clouds, because that just isn't going to happen. We cannot attract top level quality to Scottish football. Guys like, and I'll give you examples when I'm saying this. See, even experienced pros, guys that are at the, you know, the tail end of their careers, guys like Ciro Immobile, you know, Morata. These guys aren't going to come to Scotland to play against, you know, Livingston in the Tony Macaroni Arena on a Wednesday night, or go up to Dingwall and play on a Tuesday night in the Cup. It's just not going to happen. It just isn't going to happen. We can't attract that level of quality. And then on top of that, start paying guys like 50 and 60 grand a week. You pay a 10, 11, 12 million pound price tag for someone. That's the ballpark figure of wages per week that you're going to have to start giving these guys. Now, what do you think a guy like Callum McGregor or, you know, Matt O'Reilly, guys that are performing week in and week out for us and being successful and bringing the team success domestically, what do you think they're going to say if one or two other guys come in who have not been part of this group for any period of time, and then these guys are starting to get the, you know, big top wages? Now, John says we signed Cameron Carter-Vickers for 6 million and Jota 6 million, and then we went right back to 1 and 2 million gambles. That's the model of our club, John. That's where we are at the moment, mate. We do not have a big fish, a big pond that our big fish can play in. We don't play in the English Premier League. We don't make the amount of money that, you know, the Premier League clubs do. Unfortunately, that's the be all and end all, folks. We cannot attract a £15 million player to come to Celtic and play in these arenas. Can you imagine we signed a guy for 15 million, right? And then we say, right, son, you're making your debut at Rugby Park. Oh, he'd be buzzing. He'd be absolutely ecstatically over the moon. Come on, let's be real.
I've seen a comment.
So I get the Jota and the Carter-Vickers money. That's probably where we are as a club, guys. I'm comfortable with that. I'm very comfortable with that. But you can go and spend 10, 11 million pounds on a guy as well, Ryan. It doesn't guarantee you. It does not guarantee anything, mate.
I don't know if you're just tuned in, Michael, about that's kind of what I've just said there. I agree with you. I'd rather we did go and spend 3 or 4 top football, as quality we can get, like your Jotas or your Vickers type sort of players to come in and play, and then maybe go and buy 1 or 2 what we call projects, or if it's a fantastic. Again, I don't want loan signings, JP, right? I don't want loan signings. But see if there's a massive chance of getting a top player on loan, like in the past, like your Bernamy's, your Robbie Keane's thing. Maybe do that and put the wages to that.
I don't think we should be loaning players,
no,
Ryan.
I don't think so either.
In my opinion, mate, we're an elite club. So in my opinion, mate, we should not be going and loaning players. And again, these loan deals come with big wage packets as well, mate.
Oh, definitely. I get that. No, I don't. I'm not saying I don't want that. But see if you've got like Jota and Vickers, right? I know Jota at the time wasn't the player he was, but he still played in Europe. He still had a good pedigree, right? Like Carter Vickers played at Bournemouth, played at Spurs. He's played the Championship, Lower Premier League. He's still at a decent level. We got him on loan, and then we're like, right, we'll get him permanently, and then Jota again. See if potentially that's what you could do. Loan Maddox to buy, he's a top player. I don't mind doing that because you're getting, if it fails, right, it's a year of poor business and that's on my way.
Yeah.
Instead of paying 5 million for a guy that you might come in and do well and might know, and then you're losing out on that. But I would rather have I would rather buy our own players, mate. But see if
That's the way I see it as well.
no,
I would rather.
I get. Listen, I'm the same. But see if you can. See if there's any chance you get somebody either Alka in the past, your Keens or your Bernamies or your Jotters or your Bickers on loan first, and then maybe buy them. You've got to look at every opportunity you can to strengthen the squad. I would put it this way: I would rather a year than take a guy who's absolutely quality that's going to come on loan and give him 50 grand a week. They sign a £2 million project that's going to sit in the reserves. Yeah. I'd rather do that because I think I get what I'm agreeing with what some of the comments saying, because I do feel that we're signing too many players for a decent amount of money and we're not getting every player. It's playing. Some of the guys aren't even playing.
Well, we signed Lagerbielka for £3.5 million. We signed Narovski for £4 million. So, now, obviously, what's happened to Narovski's nobody's fault. Nobody's fault, right? But now the two of them are back, Ryan. The two of them are back available to play, and they can't get a game because of the emergence of Liam Scales. Now, as a business sense, this is nothing to do with Liam Scales, guys. Now, anybody that thinks I'm down in Liam Scales here, that's not what's happening at all. Liam Scales has been absolutely first class and top class for us since he's come in to now. What I'm saying is as a business sense, we should not be having a guy at £4 million, a guy at £3.5 million, sitting sometimes on the stand, by the way, not even on the bench, sometimes even on the stand recently, and watching. They're watching him play. So as a business sense, in my opinion, that should not be happening. That shouldn't be happening. But yeah, there's talent everywhere, John. They're absolutely spot on, bang on the money. And that's where we need to improve, guys. That's where we've got to improve. We have got to be sharper with our recruitment. And part of the the coming on board, like Brendan the day, Ryan saying he's not going to beg anybody to come and play for Celtic. We're enormous in terms of club stature, but we play in a league that's probably the least attractive in Europe, mate. And that's that. I keep going back to it because that's the reality where we are. We can't. So that's why the model is we buy young, and okay, while we're buying young, it just might so be that these guys are quality to help us moving forward, and then we move them on for bigger profit. We can't go and buy guys at £8, £9, £10 million because they're not going to come and play in the league. For the guys to be bought, these guys are more established, right? The players that we're looking for are obviously more established. They're ready-made players. They're guys that are going to come in. But part of the recruitment, in my opinion, Ryan, needs to be set now that it's, right, guys, we're bringing you in, but when we bring you in, you need to make your stamp straight away. You need to hit the ground running. That's got to be part of moving forward. And I get, people saying, we're buying projects, we're doing this. I get that. But who's to say we're not going to bring in 2, maybe even 3 quality players in the next window or 2, and then bring another project player in, is what we would call them. That's just obviously a label they get when they come in, and they're not ready made, and they've got to develop.
Well, see guys like Narovski and Lagerbielka, I'm not calling them projects. They were both to come in and play.
No.
They're just unfortunate right now that Scales just came in and done well. And just the full consensus, mate, of that. I don't want to spend millions on that topic, but I just think that this is now where the board need to put their money where their mouth is, back the manager, and then potentially we can maybe. I think the full it's not really about Scotland, because I think no matter what we do in Scotland, it's going to be better than them. But it's a European side, and I get what you're saying, John, in terms of. But
that's what people are saying, John. People are asking for that amount because of the amount of money that's sitting in the bank. People are asking for us to go and spend that amount of money on a player.
Again, I would love us to kind of. I'm one of the guys that I like the model, but a certain degree I don't like it because I do think it stops you for putting a bit extra to go and buy certain players. People, again, JP, you might shoot down and say maybe we can't, but I think we can go and spend another Edward. We can do it if we really want to. The club can do it. But you then need to make sure whatever else you've got left, you need to make sure that it's not going to affect your spending on whatever 2 or 3 players you want to buy. You need to make sure that the quality you're bringing in, he's going to, like, I think Rodgers knew early on that Edward, he said that he was one of the best young players he's ever worked with.
Well, we
so
knew
he
because
knew.
we had him on loan for a year before we paid that money.
This is why I'm saying about this loan to buy fight. I don't want it, right? But see if you're going to get guys like your Vickers, your Jotters, your Edwards, and then the next year they're going to become successes. I don't see why that can't be a niche where the club can look about. Right, like I've said, down south, maybe there's guys that are playing with Spurs now, maybe even Arsenal, Man United, who are not playing. Are you trying to tell me that if you're sitting on the bench at United, not getting game time, sitting in the stands, they wouldn't want to come up and play with Celtic in Champions League? Or even try and win titles?
About the Champions League,
no, I get that. But why would you want to sit in the... I know it's money, right? But why would you want to sit on the bench at even Everton, right? There can be guys at Everton that can be going to play with Celtic. I don't really follow Everton that much, right?
No,
but
I know what you're saying. I know what
why sit on the bench? Just say guys like, I don't know, like Man U, Donny van der Beek, doesn't he get a game? Sits in the stands, probably plays himself football, right? You try to tell me Celtic can't convince him. If all you've got to do is, I'm not saying he's going to sign him permanently. I don't know if the club, again, I can only go by the recruitment and who they're buying and who they're linked to. I don't know if the club are doing enough, JP, to go and ask the question to some of these top players. This is what I think. Again, I don't know. I'd love to speak to them to actually know what they're doing, because the fans don't get that insight. I don't think we do enough to go and try and get these top players, because Podence was out there to go and buy, and he's ramped up now in Olympiacos in Greece. I know he's played there before, but Celtic can get a guy for Wolves. It's no playing. 100% you can, but you need to ask a question. You need to make sure that it's in your budget to then go and buy other players. But Celtic can go and pay money, like an Edward type money, but you need to make sure that the balance sheet is going to work out for the rest of the signs, because no point buying one quality player and then you're going and buying 1 million, 1 million, 1 million, 1 million. Oh, we've bought 6 players, but in 20 million, but we've only bought 1 quality players. We've got to, again, I know you love a model, mate, so I love a model as well to a certain degree. But I think for the European progression, I don't think it's working. It's proven it's not working. We're competing, but we're not getting to where I feel you could potentially get. But I think it's all down. It's all down to how you manage buying the quality players. Again, John, I think you're right, mate. Some people have got unrealistic ambitions that we can go and spend £50 million on one player. It's not going to happen. Maybe potentially £8 or £9 million. I think you could, but then you need to then balance the books, i.e., the players need to go on loan. If Celtic can't, they've done it with Edward, so they can go. They've spent £12 million on Jota and Vickers. They can do it.
Edward, but see, when me signed Edward, Ryan, he wasn't a marquee signing, mate. He was in terms of that price.
Aye.
I know, no, they went and spent that money, but Edward was still a project, mate. He was still a young boy. He was still.
No, definitely, aye.
You know, that could have went really wrong as much as it didn't. It went really right for us, but that could have also went really wrong. Edward could have came and hit a really bad spell of form. We went and spent. Listen, guys, there's people on this comment tonight. I've seen people saying 5 million players that, you know, they're there. We spent £5 million on Barkas now for a whole wad of reasons, out with even his goalkeeping ability. That didn't turn out well for him. We done the same with Ayeti. It didn't work out. It doesn't matter how much money you go and spend on a player. Like John's comment earlier on, Matt O'Reilly cost Celtic £1.5 million. Rio Watati was only 1.3 million. It's how you recruit. It's nothing to do with how much money you go and spend. You don't need to be the richest club in the world. But see, if you recruit really well and you go and you do your due diligence on the guys that you're trying to sign and you know they're good players, and then they come in and they're given a platform, i.e. Celtic, to go and put themselves on the map.
Yep.
Of course they're going to shine, because they've had all the raw tools in their box coming here. So, Edward was a project. He was bought for £9 million due to having a successful loan deal with us. That was his buyout. That's what PSG rated him at when any other team was buying him out, right? It just so happened that we had the luxury of having him for a year. We done the same with Jota. But Jota was only a young lad. He was a prospect. He wasn't you know. But yeah, Michael, that's the difference, right? Now, there's a difference in that, right? We spent just over €4 million or whatever it was on Kyogo. The difference was Kyogo was 27 when we bought him, or just turning up for 27. Kyogo was a ready-made player and a seasoned pro in his homeland. Now, the gamble there was, Michael, that he was going to come to another country with a new culture and everything else and take a bit of time. He didn't. He hit the ground running because he was used to playing a certain way. And as Barry Boy just says the other now, attitude has a big part of it as well. You need to apply yourself. Doesn't matter your price tag. Look at, here, you want to talk price tags. Look at your man at the back for England. Harvey.
Harry Maguire.
Harry Maguire. Big heart, but I was going to call him Harvey Maguire. Harry Maguire. Now, there's no money in the world you can tell me to turn that guy into a footballer, because it's no. And I don't like speaking bad about footballers and guys that are in a professional game. But for a guy to have over £80 million spent on him, to have that tag on him, that's a shambles. That's bad due diligence. That's bad recruitment. That's just a Leicester holding their hand out and just going, yeah, no problem, we'll do that for you. No way.
It's Man U being silly,
and it's Man U being silly as well. That's what you call inflated egos and overhyped and overpriced people. That's what that is.
Seen a comment for Joseph there. Why can Spain play a 16-year-old and then his first goal for his country? I spoke to JP, but that's even
because they don't have a negative attitude abroad. Joseph,
you've got to remember as well, Joseph. These guys are built up in a total different coaching network. They're brought up in a different culture. Just everything's better in these foreign countries, and they're built better. They're coached from an early age, and they're brought up at an early age to go and do different things. And the coaches are probably better as well. They're playing with better standards of youth players as well. They're getting played a certain way of football, a brand of football, which passing, it's all this Spanish, the foreign way. When they go up to the first team, they put them in the first team because guys like Xavi, and if it's Ancelotti at Madrid, they know they're ready to play at 16. So they put them in. They have no qualms about it. And they're like us, they're winning titles, they're trying to go for Champions Leagues, they're trying to win trebles and whatever. But they know these guys are ready. In my opinion, Joseph, right now, guys at 16 at Celtic, I don't think they're ready enough physically, mentally. They're not playing at a competitive level where they're going to come up and go, right, I'm ready. Again, I'm not playing football anymore, so I'm not disrespecting anybody. I know some guys that play lower league football, it's not against them. You can't play against lower league teams and then go, boom, right up to playing them across the water, or Aberdeen.
Or Atletico Madrid, or Lazio, or anybody.
It's a massive jump. But these guys are playing against very good young Spanish players week in, week out, and then they go to the first team because they're ready. Ben Doak, spot on, Joseph. He was, I'm guessing, been between the lines with a few transcripts. He was already away to Liverpool before Celtic even played him. He didn't want to be here. He's already, and he's getting a chance at Liverpool. He's competing with Salah now to get in the team, and he's playing in the Premier League, and I think he might even get Euros in the summer. But these teams will give, for some reason, I don't think it's the fact that, I'll let you back in, JP. I don't think it's the fact that the club will give them a chance. I think it's they're not good enough to get the chance. But again, I know you need game time to prove yourself and get. But maybe they got to training, and he's like that. I don't think you're ready yet. But where do you look, JP? Do you look at
their coaching?
Is it the coaching? Is it the way? Is it the way? Is it personally? I can only talk from my experience. When I was younger, with official, mate, I was doing my warm ups, running around a gym hall, running around a park. That was what.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Do you know what I mean? So, what did they know? I don't
know. For me, like say with Ben Dokes, it was definitely the coaching. He was being held back, obviously, for a reason.
Yeah, Michael, there you go. That a lot of talk about him, but there's nothing shown yet.
I don't know. You know, he's went to Liverpool. Have seen it in him. You know, you know, again, a different perspective, a different set of eyes. I've obviously seen a talent in him and just said to myself, "Nah, do you know what? We're just going to play this boy." And beside quality, and he'll develop that way. And that's what's happened with that Ben Dokes. We've got a right negative attitude, folks, when it comes to young talent in Scottish football. We seem to have a right negative attitude towards it. When a young player does well, they go to from a lot of Scottish football fans and is to put the boy down. And very quickly these lads become scapegoats, and there's loads of negativity flung towards them. Whereas, like say, John's comments about Joseph's comments, sorry, about the Spanish lads and everything else, these guys are so humble, and they're out with pom-poms supporting these boys and bringing them through. But Ryan, you asked me a question, mate. I think it's down to coaching, mate. I think it's down to the ability of our coaches to the way the foreign coaches work, the setup, everything's totally night and day. Now, that's nothing to do with finances or anything at all. It's just down to attitude.
Do you think, Brian, if Celtic, like, I know it's a different kettle of fish, but obviously they brought in Farrell Alonso for the women's team, they're doing well now, they've changed their, we don't know what he's doing behind the scenes.
Yep.
Do you think maybe bringing foreign coaches in and helping like McManus or the guys like that?
I think a lot of grassroots coaches, mate, are all just guys that just, turning up, taking a team and just going home and collecting a wage at the end of it or whatever they do. I don't think there's a lot of genuine interest there for guys to.
I don't know if you've seen that, John, but Marvin Bartley was actually speaking about that the other day. He had a big out.
I've seen that as well. Yeah.
Marvin Bartley, the manager from the South, had a big outburst saying that he knows his players are playing consoles hours before games and they're not getting the right sleep, and he basically says it's going to change. And again,
when I was a kid, Ryan, you're probably the same yourself, mate. We had parks that we could go and play at all the time.
I didn't play that when I was younger. I just played football.
No, that's what I'm saying. But we'd always a grassy veld somewhere where we could go and play, right? See, now you can't. Now they're throwing up houses, throwing up council estates, and they're throwing in retail parks, and shops are opening up. And
that's where you play fives. You play fives, all right.
Yep.
But that move. Like the last time I played 5 years ago.
Parks are all empty now, mate.
5.56 for football. I mean, you're talking like 70, 80 quid or something to play fives.
Well,
that's just adults.
Well, we actually still only pay. We pay a £5 a head, right, to play our five. So we're still, and at the end of that, mate, like I say, on Saturday we've got a wee day out on Saturday.
But
that allows us then to have a kitty as well.
But they're definitely outpricing youth. I think some parks are charging
a five-a-side park now, mate. It's £50 an hour to buy.
But if you see, even a side park, some of them are still charging like £200, and that's the before paying the referees, and it's. I agree with you, mate. I
think grassroots football, especially kids football, there's a lot of uninterested coaches in there.
That's a good point, actually, for Michael JP. About
the Barry speaks quite highly about that, mate. And he goes to watch his kids and other kids play, and he hears coaches telling him to just get rid of the ball instead of trying to encourage him to pass a ball. Give a ball on to the next guy and try and build the game. But I think overall, mate, what we're chatting about is more to do with recruitment and how you recruit, how you do it, how we go about recruiting. Like John's comment earlier about Matt O'Reilly's price tag, you don't need to spend multi-millions to bring in severe quality. What you need to be doing is you need to be sharper in terms of your eye for the player, and you need to be sharper the way you do things. What categorise they've got to, when you categorise it, they've got to fit a certain category to come in and play for an elite club like Celtic. In my opinion, you've got to be able to come in and hit the ground right away. You're not only dealing with, a fanatical fan base, a massive fan base that puts a weight on this jersey that sits on your back. You need to win every game, and you need to build that mentality very quickly, especially if you've came from a club like MK Dons, who maybe doesn't win every single Saturday, or every Sunday or whenever they play, Ryan. So for me, mate, it's all about how you recruit, and it's all about the efficiency of doing so. The coaches are given programmes to use by the SFA, so maybe that's the problem. Yeah, John, I would imagine so, mate, but I think a lot of that as well comes down to individuals' attitude and how you carry out that programme. You can either make it as enthusiastic as you want to have the kids, clinging on to that and want to come back and do more, or you can just go about it like the Reverend I Am Jolly and everything's just dead funny around about you and you've just got that straight face and demeanour and it's just I can't wait to go home type of attitude. Anybody can do that as well. Do you know what I mean, Ryan? Or you can have a bit more of a spring in your step and put more into it. So for me, I think it's, and then like Joseph says, in terms of the young Spanish boys and stuff, you're developing guys from youth to pro youth to senior football. For me, right now, there's not enough happening in terms of us bringing through a conveyor belt of talent. Yeah, John, we do. We need more indoor facilities as well. Yeah. But I don't want to go too far away from a tangent. We're coming to the end tonight now. I think the positivity around that, Ryan, is we've heard Brendan speak today and, he's definitely told us that there is funds available. Me personally, mate, I don't think that's lies. I don't think that's nonsense because that's not very normal for a Celtic manager to come out and just give us that information. Normally Brendan would maybe keep that close to the chest, but because that was one of the questions that was asked today, then I'm assuming, mate, that's why he's kind of gave us that with a kind of small carrot to dangle there to say, look, it's the time will come and we'll bring in the quality needed to.
Aye.
And that's what he said over the next 2 to 3 windows, he said.
Aye.
He'll have his way to shape this squad in terms of where we want to be. And I think that's got to be exciting as well, mate.
Aye, no, again, you'd like to think that he's saying that because he's telling... Again, maybe he's saying that because maybe the board won't come out and say it. He's got to come and say it because I think he understands the frustration. I've seen bits and bobs of different transcripts for the last few weeks, and I think he knows the fans are frustrated. I think he knows he wants certain players at the door. I did see a thing about that. He did say that there was on his presser. He says there was 1 or 2 players that left in the summer that he was surprised that moved. So that didn't hit. I don't know. He didn't mention the players. I've even thought about who he's talking about. But guys left, and he said, so we had to obviously do a bit more than maybe we planned on. But I think he wants some guys out in January and the summer, and then high quality in the January, and then in the summer, maybe revamp what he's trying to do, sign quality players. But I'd like to think, JP, that...
I think there was a question for Plunge, sorry, mate, just before we finish up, in terms of he's asking, do we think we'll sign Jota again? I think he kind of laughed today when he kind of left it open, but didn't he, the way he done that? Because
he says I'll need to ask Michael Nicholson, the CEO.
He says I'll ask Michael Nicholson.
I'm not the sort of guy that really wants to sign players that have been here and done it. But given Jota's age and given he's only just left us, if, again, he's on, people need to remember as well now, he's on 200 grand a week. So the only reason he would come back is if his club subsidise, if he was to ever consider a loan deal.
Thanks very much, Alfie.
Thanks, mate. Thank you. Or female, sorry. Thank you. The club would need to subsidise, his club would need to subsidise most of the wages, or they make an agreement where
you'll need to get mate Mendes on the phone, mate, so you can get some subscriptions sorted for your half-10s, to try and get the wee man back here. Just tell him you'll meet him in the Brazen Heat, mate, double denim, no that, no, try and get him back here.
I'll just show him that wee 40. What do you do, same as you? But no, he'll need to... for me, the only way he would come back is if the club subsidised, and he's there. If the club subsidised the wages and Celtic came to agreement where they would pay a bit of it, Then listen, if Jota wants to come back and Celtic can get him JP in January, if it is for 6 months and then maybe get him back permanently, he's one of the only players that right now I would say aye, because he would improve you again. And that's I know he was
so.
real.
Yeah.
Oh,
You think so?
100%, mate. 100%.
Think so?
100%, mate.
Where does he kind of fit in? Because we've got Palmer now, mate.
You've got Palmer, right? He's better than Abada. I know Abada's raw, and his numbers are brilliant, and he's always a threat. And for me, him and Jota were your two. I know my header does a lot of work going forward, but technically, they two were probably your first protocols, especially against them across the water. But Jota's better than Abada, and he's better than my header. So if Jota comes, for me, he plays. I know my header's good and what he does going forward, but imagine Palmer and Jota, mate, in especially European football. That's the quality. I know Jota was here last year, but he did help us. And you see,
I do apologise, Dyson and Leo, if he's tuning in tonight. And,
no, listen, I'm just being honest. I've always said that. I said it was it Monday. I think we're on. I think or last week. You can't have enough quality in your team, mate. So I know you might have a bulkier squad, but if your bulkier squad's full of quality than quantity, then you don't mind having maybe 25, 26 quality players than having 32 or 33 guys who are not going to play. So just on that topic, mate, if I can't see it, but if there's a potential to get Jota back in January, sell it, need to go and date, in my opinion, because one, it improves you, it adds to the squad, and listen, we all know the rest of Scottish football will feed him. I know there's talk about Tillio and stuff like that. I know he played for a show.
I'm only pulling your leg about Jota, mate. If I'd have worked better if Big Alan was on here, I think.
Listen, the question is, mate, if Jota can get signed, you go and get the deal done and you bring him back, because it's no like he's going away for, like, we've talked about Ryan Christie, it's not like he's going away for 2 or 3 years or whatever. He's only just left. So
I'm going to come back to Brazen Heat takings have been done recently, mate.
For me, mate, again, it might split opinions for some of the fans because the way he left, and it was a boom out of blue transfer. But for me, mate, if there's any reason or any way you can get Jota back, mate, for even if it is a 6-month loan deal or whatever, for me, that's the sort of player I would do a loan deal for, because he's quality, mate, and it only enhances the brand of Celtic, and only enhances your performance on the park.
Yeah, he does. No, listen, as I said, I was only pulling your leg in terms of Jota, mate. He's wee man's quality. He's a breath of fresh air when he takes to the field and does stuff for the ball, and yeah, I seen a wee comment from Michael there. If Palmer had more pace, he's just as good as Jota. Listen, Palmer's replaced Jota. He just needs to keep the level of performance going now. Palmer's
I have said that.
Definitely Jota's replacement. He doesn't need pace. He plays it a different way, and he doesn't need pace.
I don't know if you've listened before, Michael, the last 2 or 3. I know you can run regular, mate, so thank you. But I do think that he's missing that acceleration. I know it might not be part of his game, but I think he's missing the acceleration to just maybe get by men a bit better. And I think if that's, I don't think that's something you can really get maybe the age he's at. But if he did get that a bit better, then I think it's all going to enhance him. Not forgetting Jota, because you can't forget about Jota, but it would replace his goals and his assists, because he's proved already that he's got the quality. Well, no, we can stay in it. That's down to him himself, but as it stands at the moment, $3.5 million does seem to be a very good signing.
No, very good. Definitely. Like I say, I'd actually forgot about Jota to Plungy's comment come up at night. I'd actually forgot he was ways, because Palmer's made it that easy for me personally to forget about Jota. But listen, Jota's a fantastic asset for any team, and I'm pretty sure whatever move a wee man makes in January will be the beneficiary for him and, probably his family. And I'd imagine it's just not turned out for him the way he wanted to, and that's due to a manager that there was a lot of disarray around about that manager, and I think it was a big fight with him and Benzema. We were reading, they've moved the manager on and instead of carrying Benzema. So I think you need to, when a player like that comes out and goes against you, mate, I think that whatever boards you're working under, I think they've got to take realisation as to what exactly is going on, and it can't just be that, you know, the player. But no, as I said, Jota would be a fantastic addition, mate, and I think there'd be a few Adam's apples getting swallowed at one end of the city as well if we were to sign a guy like that. As you said, having so much quality in your team is only beneficiary for us and a benefactor for us as well. And but listen, another good chat with you tonight, mate. It's been really good. I know in 32 minutes it's flew in. Just like the last 13 games for Celtic have flew in. We're still unbeaten. It's -8 in Glasgow. I've only got my heating on tonight, which is the reason I've no wearing a hoodie because it's absolutely frozen. But as I said, mate, it's another wee good chat with you. It's been a quick week so far. Doesn't feel like a good wad of days there for we were out.
It's not been a quick week for me, I'll tell you that.
Listen, guys, I appreciate everybody's comments. Thank you very much for everyone that's commented in and tuned in with us tonight. I really do appreciate it. Ryan appreciates it as well.
We'll do it
Anybody
again
that's new to the podcast, guys, and you do like the content, please don't hesitate to like and share, and obviously subscribe as well, because it'll help you get notified when we're live and anything that's happening with the podcast. If you want to message us again for any reason, guys, if you're maybe not feeling the best about yourselves and maybe having a down day or, you know, something in terms of your mental health and putting your headspace in a better place, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. You can do it on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or the X is what it's called now, Instagram. You can also get us on TikTok. You can also message us in the community section of our YouTube channel. So, yeah, please don't hesitate to do that. Before we finish up, guys, the podcast, for anybody that's tuning in who's new again, this podcast is sponsored by AB Entertainment. The AB it stands for a Mr. Alec Beveridge. It's a DJ and entertainment business, and that's Alec's number on the screen there for you. If anybody can't see it, is 07845 746 092. What I will say, guys, I think his diary's pretty full now in terms of the festive period. So anybody at all that's got any parties or any big birthdays, family members, relatives, work colleagues, anybody at all, you know, coming up in the new year that's got any big birthdays coming up looking for some entertainment, please don't hesitate to give Big Alec a shout, as he is one of the best in the business, folks, at what he does. Again, guys, pleasure with us being on with you tonight. We will be back, like I says, guys, because it's because of circumstances. We won't be back until Monday next week at the time of 8:30. Okay, and then obviously from then you'll get the schedule of what we're doing next week. We should have a couple of days mornings tuned in for you as well. Going to try and get you a couple of guests as well, guys, over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned for that as well. And it's nice to see that Ryan's got big Postacoglu's cough.
well, I've got it now, and he's left and no got it anywhere.
Big Ann seems to have not got it anywhere now. Any interviews doing with talking, he's no. But guys, honestly, stay safe. Take care. Hope you all have a lovely weekend when it comes. Enjoy the game on Saturday if any of you are travelling to it. And before I forget, hail, hail.
Hail, hail. Take care.
Take it easy.
Well, all right, lads. Guten Tag.